Hey guys, today is a very big day. Today is the day of the update and new DLC. Today the Hunter Power Pack releases on all three platforms at the same time. So in today's video, we finally have the patch notes, so we're going to be going over everything that comes in this update. We're going to talk about the new DLC, all of the bug fixes and changes that are coming with this free update, as well as the HIRSCHFELDEN cosmetic pack, which also comes out today. So it reads, "Greetings Hunters, we just released the Showcase update bringing new features, fixes, and improvements to players on all platforms. Say hello to your free trophy cabin. This cabin proudly displays all of your trophies from Layton Lake and HIRSCHFELDEN reserves in the spacious new trophy cabin, pool table, and hot tub included. So the Layton Lakes Trophy Lodge is free for everyone. It comes with this update. You just get one of them, not multiples of them, and in the Layton Lakes Trophy Lodge, you will have one mount for every species on the non-DLC maps. So there will be one mount for every species in HIRSCHFELDEN and in Layton Lakes, plus there is one spot for a large multi-mount, and this free cabin is going to be included with the base game, and it is absolutely beautiful. They did an amazing job with it, so that is one really cool thing coming with this update. And then it says here, spend less time prepping and more time hunting with loadouts. Shorten the time between hunts by saving your favorite configurations of weapons and equipment into different loadouts. You can switch between them at any time by heading to your nearest cache." So this is definitely something the community has been asking for quite some time, and it is finally here, and I am very, very excited about it. We now have the ability to save multiple different loadouts with exactly what we want in them. Simply, once they are saved, you can head to your cache and change your entire loadout in a matter of seconds and just continue on hunting. It is going to save us a pile of time. So this is one really amazing change that comes with this update and is completely free. Additional new features. The Apex News feature has been added. Now players will be able to see the latest news as a pop-up in the main menu. Trophy lodges can now be renamed. That's awesome. Gonna be doing that today. A keybind option to toggle clue highlights on and off has been implemented. We've added a sharpness slider to the graphics quality settings. We've added a press and hold indicator for skipping intro cinematics. Players can now add waypoints when looking through their binoculars. I actually did have my game set up to do that, but that's awesome that it is now right in the game. The in-game DLC store is now available for players who bought the game on the Epic Games Store. An extra screen with DLC details has been implemented in the in-game DLC store on PC, and a new multi-mount trophy has been added, and it is called Bison Bonanza. So this is it here. It's got a lot of people wondering if, and it could be possible that Euro Bison could be the next great one. I personally am hoping not. I would like to see a fallow great one. Which great one would you guys like to see next? And my guess is that probably the next great one will come out in June with the next map. Adjustments and improvements. Textures and selected models for plaques and plinths in the trophy lodges has been improved. We're gonna have to check that out. PlayStation players should no longer experience crashes when accessing the storage menu. I am not on PlayStation, but I am so happy to see that. I have had so many comments from viewers very frustrated by the crashing on PlayStation, so guys, it should be fixed for you now. The distance at which animals will spook when hearing gunshots has been adjusted. They don't say reduced, they say adjusted. We definitely do have a lessened spook radius. That's something we're gonna have to play with. Lever action rifle, Whitlock Model 86, and the Coachmate reload animations have been updated. Mission items in the Codex menu have been categorized. The estimated distance to an animal can now be seen on the spotting widget in the UI. So that's that little estimate in the top right-hand corner. When you spot something, it gives you a quick estimate of the distance of that animal. Ranger has become a passive perk that increases the estimated distance accuracy shown in the UI. Information about an animal's state is now visible by default when they are spotted. That's interesting. Zeroing can now be acquired as a tier 2 perk. It actually used to be a tier 3 perk, so that means as a new player you can get to it faster. Various character transparency issues have been resolved. Developers notes, specifically, this fix fixes a bug where antlers would seem to twitch in odd directions while the player was moving. So that's sweet. Under gameplay, we added some general improvements to the hill collar skill. The zero distance of the cross point CB 165 crossbow has been increased from 10, 30, and 50 to 20, 40, and 60 meters. We've increased the bleed damage caused by the 22 truncated cone bullets to ensure quick kills on small birds, even on flesh wounds. Yeah, I have been noticing that the truncated hasn't been doing the greatest, so that should be fixed with this update, and that's awesome. On top of a couple of additional minor tweaks, some animal awareness states will now be available for all players to observe instead of only players who have selected the spotting knowledge skill. Developers notes, all players will now be able to observe animals in 3 key states: calm, alerted, and fleeing or aggressive. Those who decide to take on the spotting knowledge skill will be provided with an additional range of states visibility information. With these changes, we hope to improve first-time user experience and keep things balanced and exciting for our existing community. Animals will stop in their tracks more accurately. Spanish special characters will now be displayed correctly in the Russian translation of the game. We've adjusted the dog's responsiveness to the gunshots and added a reaction to thunder. That's cool. Under visuals, choosing the low preset quality now also updates shadow quality, terrain detail, tessellation, and scene complexity. Small visual improvements to the sky when raining have been added. The volume fog quality has been optimized on PC and no longer appears pixelated regardless of the chosen graphics setting. And under performance, memory usage while switching reserves has been improved. And now we are at bug fixes. Here we go. Under gameplay, the hunting dog realized it doesn't have gills and no longer lies down underwater. The moose Great One now spawns with Great One fur types only. Yes! That means my next Great One's gonna have a fur type. I have 2 commons. That is awesome. The hunting dog will now respawn on land if pushed into the water. Ooh, that's interesting. A number of issues causing need zones to disappear after game updates have been addressed. That's awesome. We fixed an issue with waterfowl failing to flee when there's no valid threat. Animals no longer teleport while drinking. That's awesome. An issue with alligators despawning incorrectly has been resolved. We fixed an issue where ducks sometimes did not leave high altitudes. Using the keen eye skill will no longer discover invalid points of interest. Toggling between the X-ray and regular view no longer changes the reset view. Players can now interact with the trash bin for the New England Mountains main mission, Second Home, without having to quit and re-enter the game from the main menu. We fixed an issue for the Parque Fernando mission, shot for shot, where 2 out of the 4 targets were not visible unless the player was zooming in at a specific spot. Crashes in certain locations on various reserves on Xbox have been addressed. Moose have had their internal organs checked and they all should be valid targets again. Taxidermized Great One moose with the fable furs will now display the correct fur in the trophy lodge. So if you did harvest a Great One moose with a rare fur and it was changing colors in the lodge or fur types, that has been fixed, so that is a big one. Okay, moving on under UI, we've updated the default keybinds for the gamepad when placing waypoints and binoculars. Various quality of life fixes were added to the harvest screen. The latest killed animal will now be properly displayed in the trophy manager even if the player already has 10 harvests saved. The ability to mute individual players in multiplayer chat has been added. That's cool. Metric and imperial range measurements in the weapon wheel will now display correctly when toggled. We fixed a number of mission waypoints that reveal new areas of the map. Hunt Club events no longer move to the completed tab before they are finished. The Great Ones count in the hunting profile of a player's codex now update properly. The equipment selector now shows up every time as intended when pressing up on the D-pad. We fixed an infinite loading issue that sometimes appeared if a player changed to another profile from the EULA and privacy policy screens on Xbox. We fixed an issue where the D-pad scroll functionality in the EULA and privacy policy screens were occasionally unresponsive. We removed the option to retrieve a trophy even though the animal was not placed in any trophy lodge. We fixed an issue where the options menu became locked after a player unlinked their Apex Connect account using a controller. The unsaved harvest pop-up is no longer closed when a player uses a controller to check Don't Show Again. The issue with the taxidermize button of the last unsaved harvest not working while being accessed directly from the harvest screen has been fixed. We fixed the issue of the claim reward prompt not being aligned to the center of the screen. When assembling a multi-mount, the last highlighted animal on the list will no longer appear instead of the selected one. The female hunting dog now has the correct picture in the My Dogs menu. The issue with numbers on the HUD becoming bigger if the player switches between controller and keyboard and mouse has been resolved. The in-game currency cost to rename a player's hunting dog will now only be deducted if their chosen name change was successful. There were a number of players reporting the renaming system was broken, causing loss of cash and no name change, so that has been fixed. The mission list no longer overlaps with other UI elements. We fixed a misaligned image in the missions items codex UI. Reserve subcategories. The mission items have been added. Some truncated text in the equipment slots inventory UI has been cleaned up. Players can once again select MatMat's multi-trophy mount while using the keyboard in a trophy lodge. And we've fixed an issue where players would sometimes trigger the override option using a controller in the trophy manager screen. Under audio, the cacciatore 12-gauge shotgun echo now triggers when firing while aiming. And under visuals, the player's shadow no longer flickers when spawned. Graphical corruption no longer occurs when switching ammo when reloading. Water should no longer occasionally flicker. We fixed a number of graphical issues occurring when a player automatically reloaded any of the Weapon Pack 6 weapons. The player's character now properly grips their ATV handlebars in first-person view. Now under multiplayer, names should no longer disappear from the harvest screen when players leave a multiplayer session. So does that mean it will still show the proper person's name even though they're no longer on the map if you pick up someone else's animal? I think that's what it means. Twitching movements should no longer occur when looking at other players in multiplayer. The long-standing issue with switching barrels on the Grelic drilling rifle in a multiplayer session while being within a 1.5 kilometer distance from another player has been fixed. Very sweet. We fixed a minor third-person animation issue for the modern muzzleloader when reloading in a crouching position in multiplayer. An issue where audio for the goose and jackrabbit callers was being heard twice during a multiplayer session if triggered by another player has been fixed. And it says, we hope you enjoy all of the free content improvements and fixes contained in this update, as well as the new HIRSCHFELDEN Cosmetic Pack and the Hunter Power Pack DLC, now available on all platforms. Happy hunting. So there you have it. That is the patch notes. Now let's have a look here. So this is the HIRSCHFELDEN Cosmetics Pack DLC. So it says expand your style options with the HIRSCHFELDEN Cosmetics Pack. This optional DLC includes all new weapon paint, sprays, camos, and materials, as well as special premium wrap, all inspired by the beloved HIRSCHFELDEN Hunting Reserve. They're actually really beautiful. I really like the colors in this pack. So that's available on Steam, the Epic Games Store, the Microsoft Store, the PlayStation Store, and the Xbox Store. As always, cosmetic items do not affect gameplay and can be used across all owned weapons and reserves. Click right here to see all of the improvements and changes in-game. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will definitely see you guys in the next one.